Hello, I'm walking a bit weird because my back is a bit frozen here on this side. So today we will do some back stuff together. Yeah, maybe it fits for you, maybe not. I will do according to what my back needs, try to mobilize it a bit, try to get it going again. So let's do it together. And if you also have something with the back, yeah, maybe it helps you, but maybe you have something different and then maybe it does not help you. All right, you see I'm lying on the back. That's always convenient if you have any back stuff. Okay. All right, what I start with is a bit, you see I lift the pelvis from side to side, gently. Now I'm rolling the lower back into the floor like this, and you see I'm lifting off the pelvis and I go into the opposite. That's for me difficult now, yeah, to go into the anterior pelvic tilt. So I have a lordosis here in the lower back. This I can momentarily not do while standing. So I'm rolling back and forth from one thing to the other. Lower back into the floor, lower back away from the floor. Continue a bit more. Okay, I'm rolling to the side and onto the belly. And here on the belly, I try to also tilt my pelvis forward anteriorly. So there is a lordosis here. Yeah, it's a bit difficult to see. And then I go into the opposite. Okay, I go posterior tilt. Do you see that? How my hips are rotating one way and then the other way? Back and forth. Going up onto the knees, and I do the same thing here. Focusing on the pelvis, rotating it one direction and then in the other. You can do your pace, your speed. That works well for you. And I go into the sesa. And here in the sesa, I do the same. I round in the pelvis and I round also, as you see, in the whole back, like that. And then I do the opposite. I try to straighten. Yeah, I feel how I'm restricted here. Doesn't go so well, but okay, now I reached a bit further, opened, it allowed me to go a bit further. And then I go back. And back up again. I stay a bit at the top, but do it in the way that you feel good. If you want to do more movement, quicker, you're invited to do so. For me, this slow pace is very good now. Now I'm going forward. You see I'm in an anterior tilt, so pelvis tilted forwards, yeah, I'm in the lordosis, and I'm going forward, and then I bend a bit in the end, but in general here I will now try to stay in this anterior tilt as good as I can, while bringing my head down here. And now I can do the same thing, that I go into posterior pelvic tilt and more flexion in the spine, and then anterior tilt, and I try to elongate the spine and back and forth. I'm just moving slowly back and forth. Okay, rolling over, I'm going to the back. And I'm slowly rolling the pelvis off the floor, and then the next vertebrae slowly up. And I push from the feet. I don't go up all the way yet. I feel, okay, that's not so good at the moment. There's still restriction there. So I'm just, for me, now going to a point where I feel, okay, I can go until there. But activating here the muscles of the hamstrings, the glutes, and I feel how I can slowly increase a bit the range, go a bit higher. I'm also trying to roll the spine, vertebra by vertebra. Yeah, I'm investigating the range that I can go, that feels good. I also don't want to do too little. I don't want to be overly careful. But it's also because I certainly know I don't have anything major there. It's just a bit frozen, the muscle. Okay, I lift up the knees, and I bring the knees closer to the chest. Also here I don't do too much for now. And I touch them back, I explore a bit. For me it's maybe not so good to go all the way, maybe I just touch my toes. Rolling a bit more. Okay. I roll over again to the belly. Now I'm doing sort of a plank, but not a full plank. See, I'm here on my elbows, and I engage my shoulders. Boom. I bring the shoulders, or I press my shoulders into the floor, let's say it like this. Bring my shoulder blades away from the floor, and I have some tension in my belly, shortening my belly. I short it in towards the pelvis. So the chest goes towards the pelvis. You should feel now a good activation. I'm trembling a bit, shaking a bit from that. And now you can also press the knees into the floor towards the elbows, and elbows go towards the knees. They don't really move in space, but you have the activation towards. And relax. I roll to the side, and I'm here, and I do a similar thing. I press against the floor. You see my pelvis is still on the floor, but I press here, so there is activation on the side of my back, but I don't overdo it now. Okay, if you feel that works well, you can slightly lift off the pelvis, but that will be much harder. I feel it's possible for me to activate. I want to have muscular activation there, having this whole section tight, because I feel my back muscle there got a bit like afraid, you could say, from lifting my kids in weird positions, out of the car, all these things that you run into as a parent. Okay, here press down. I still have the pelvis on the ground. Activating, and then slightly lifting off. All right, relax. And then I go here. This I also like to call the beach position, or reverse beach position, I think. Not sure anymore how I call it. But I press also here into the floor, press my back away from the floor and the belly is still on the ground. An easier version now is to go here and to slightly lift off. Yeah, bit easier on the back. You will probably feel, if you do it like me and I pull a bit in, you will probably also feel a lot of hamstring activation, a lot of activation in the knee. That's an extra for now. Yeah, nicely activating here the back muscles from this position. Okay. Back down again. Lying down on the belly. Let my knees drop to the side. And drop them to the other side. I slowly go there, yeah, from side to side. Good, I roll over. I end up in the shin box. So I personally feel this position is not so super convenient for me at the moment to do, but it's okay. And I feel now it's already getting a bit better. So I want to stay for a moment here. And I bring my leg into the tailor sit. I also feel, okay, not the easiest position for me at the moment if I want to be upright here. But I feel also, if I straighten myself a bit more, it also feels like a good thing. Then I pull out the other leg and I'm on the shin box on the other side. And now I switch from side to side. I bring one leg into the tailor pose, stay for a moment, and then the inside leg goes into the shin box on the other side. And I just switch here from side to side. Okay, pressing myself into a squat. Let's see how this is for me. Yeah, actually, it's quite good. And I did some squats this morning, like up and down, and this felt like, this felt like I would need one more day to do this conveniently again. Bring one knee forward, go upright, as good as possible for you. And then I bring my knee to the floor and back up, knee to the floor. Sorry, head to the floor. My knee is already on the floor. This is my head. Back and forth. You can use your hands for help also. Good, and the other side. Going back into the squat, and I'm going up. I walk a bit, and I walk a bit weird. Yeah, I struggle here to bring the pelvis into anterior tilt. So I want to do some more hip mobilization, and I start with side to side motion. Like this, you see I bend and straighten the knees to have this side to side motion here. And now I go anterior and posterior tilt, although my anterior tilt is not really there. Bend the knees. The nice thing about back problems is you need less clothes. You're always warm because you slightly sweat from the pain that you're in. Okay. See, I do a grand pass bend and up. Grand pass bend. I lean a bit back. It's very restricted, I feel. Just a bit. Bend forward again. And here in this position, I also mobilize a bit the back and the pelvis with bending and extending. Going down into the squat, and I'm going back down to the floor. I do again my strength work here, pressing into the floor. Here you see I have lifted the pelvis off. So you can see if you want to lift the pelvis, maybe even the knees, but For me, definitely not possible now to lift the knees. I'm really pressing in, shortening my belly. I feel the shaking from that. Okay. Go on the knees and the hands. And from there I lift off the knees, straighten them back. Yeah, maybe you can touch the heels to the floor, and I'm bending back down. And I'm going back with my pelvis to the heels and back into neutral, up, heels to the floor, and then again knees to the floor, rock back, neutral, and so on. Okay, I walk a bit backwards on all fours. Find a way that works good for you. You can also do it on your knees if you want. If you have a floor that is soft enough for that. Also walking a bit sideways. And in both directions and forward. And I'm doing it more slow and controlled, trying to engage my midsection. Okay, I'm going again for the beach position. First just this here, and then bending the, no, that's, I need more. Okay, lifting up. Down, and a similar thing here. I go into my hands and the feet, and I walk around in this crab style. Can be intense for the wrist, so make sure you're not working on your back and then making the wrist hurt. And I'm pushing up and back down, pushing up into the table position and down. A knife fell out of my pants, out of my trousers. Look here, I go on one hand and I turn. And I turn back. Touch, and the other side. I'm rolling around, yeah, through the table position. Again, on all fours. Good. I'm lying down on the ground and I'm trying to lift off my rib cage off the floor, so I engage a lot the muscles of the back. The muscles. Engage the muscles now. Engage them. Engage the muscles. Maximum tension. And I move up and down. Up and down. A slight help from my elbows, but not too much. Okay, stay again. Move a bit around, look a bit for the extension in the rib cage. See what's good, yeah, what feels good, what does not feel so good, maybe also. And from here, boom, I'm going back, standing back up. Walking a bit around. Pretending I'm super smooth now, which I'm not. It feels a bit better. I'm trying to bring my pelvis into the anterior tilt. Okay. I'm going a bit forward. This is the worst for me, yeah? This, where I feel the pull on the muscles here from the leverage. So I bring my hips far back and I go there. Just looking a bit what's possible without any forcing. Yeah, so that would be my test also, how well I feel. If I feel like I can do that better again. And at the moment it is, not so great. Okay, I will do the grandfather's version again. And back up and see if I can do a bit less, put a bit less weight on the hands. That's definitely the stuff you have to be careful with. If you have something there, yeah, the leverage on the vertebrae. But you see, something happens here with me. bit more range. Trying to be careful that I don't overdo it. Better to bend also the knees. I stay there for a moment. You have to see, yeah, if that's something for you. Try also to go into anterior tilt, bring the chest up, engage. Tension. Okay, create tension in my midsection. And I go up. I walk a bit around. See how that feels. Okay. Going to the wall and rolling my back up and down the wall. Like away from the wall, but I don't care much about this upper part here. It's about the lower part for me. Maybe you care more about the upper part. Going back down onto the knees, lifting off hand and foot, seeing if I can elongate them, looking for what's possible for me. You can bring the elbow and the knee together, or even the hand and the foot. It's not much more difficult, it's just a little bit more difficult. Back and forth, change side. I walk forward with my hands and I walk back. And the important thing here now is to have nice tension in the belly, yeah, in the whole midsection, and walking back out, yeah, without back problems. I would usually do this on the feet, but now that's good also. I bring the belly a bit forward and I bring it back. And I'm going on the side, lifting up, yeah, engaging. I feel, okay, I feel I can go here now. feels good. Yeah, possible. Down other side, do a version that works for you. For some people this is also troubling for the elbow. So for them it's better, for the shoulder, sorry, to do it on the elbow. So for them it's better to do it supporting on the hand and not on the elbow. We turn back, I show you actually the version on the hand, like this. Nice line. Other side. Okay, good. I walk again a bit, see how I feel. Feel a bit better. No amazing jumps though, but yeah, something to have. We have to be often a bit patient. Sometimes you find something that directly provides a relief. Yeah, I also have one video of an exercise that I like to do in such cases. Not often, but can happen. It's called My Favorite Back Exercise that you're probably not doing. That's how the video is called. But it's with an elastic band, and in this follow-alongs I do without equipment. Okay, I stand and I make space in the spine, like I pull myself long. I also go with my awareness into this region. Yeah, and I feel this region, feeling what is happening there, feel a bit the pain also. Try a bit different ways of standing, see how this affects it. Yeah, just investigating. Okay, so this was my small investigation now into what I need for my back. It is just for you to get a feeling a bit for this. Okay, I look, how do I feel, what can I do, try different approaches, see what works and what doesn't. And this is especially useful in absence of an expert that can help you. And in the end, you shall be the biggest expert on yourself. Yeah, so you need to experiment and play. Obviously, the ideas of other people help a lot, but in the end, only you know what you feel. Okay, so hopefully this gave you a glimpse into this work. Okay, you have a problem, and then you see movement-wise what can you do, how can you help it. And as I said, not always there are huge jumps immediately. Yeah, I feel also now I feel better than before, but it's not like gone or anything like this. Okay, so I need to investigate a bit more, but certainly this session helped. All right.